So feeling stuck, not a matter of if, but when. No matter who you are, how many times you've gotten yourself unstuck before, you're gonna run up against new challenges and new problems that will make you feel like you don't know the way forward. And in my 10 plus years of coaching high-performing leaders and entrepreneurs, this feeling of, I feel like I'm just really stuck right now, is one of the most common things that people come to me with. So you are not alone if you're feeling stuck. And the good news is there is a way forward. So today I'm going to be sharing with you 3 reasons why we tend to get stuck in the first place and give you one really powerful practice to help you move forward when you do feel stuck. So if you're new here, welcome. My name is Kristin Constable, and I'm a leadership and business coach to values-driven entrepreneurs who want to lead wildly successful, values-driven businesses and live rich and fulfilling, values-driven lives. And I'm a big believer that you can and you should have both, and that's what this channel is all about. So if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. New videos come out every single Wednesday, and you'll get notified right away as soon as they do. So let's dive into those 3 reasons why we get stuck in the first place. So reason number 1 is that you don't know where you're going. So this is all around vision. So in order for us to actually feel like we are clear and that we're moving forwards, we have to have an eye on our destination. So when we're feeling stuck and the idea is, or the feeling is, that it's just not clear around where I'm going or what my next steps are, that is one very common reason that people feel stuck. And that's okay. That happens from time to time, and I'm going to tell you how to get around that later on in the video. Reason number 2 is that you know where you want to go, you just don't know how to get there. So you don't have the roadmap. This can be super frustrating because you have this inspiring vision for the future that you really are excited to move towards, but it's like you are stuck in the present because you don't know what the next right step is to take. So if that is you, again, no need to worry. There are practices and ways to at least get some momentum. You may not know the whole roadmap, but you will be able to tap into and tune into your next right steps if you do the practices that I'm going to talk about. Then the 3rd reason that we often get stuck is analysis paralysis. So we know where we want to go and we have so many different paths that we think can take us there. Now, if this is you, it can feel super frustrating because you know where you want to go, you know that there are routes to get there, but you just can't seem to pick or choose the best way forward. So before we go any further, please take a moment in the comments below this video to just share with me whether it's 1, 2, or 3 that resonate for you the most as the reason that you most often feel stuck. Okay, so a really powerful coaching model that's super easy for you to follow is one that's called awareness, choice, and action. So in the awareness stage, you want to get out of your own head. The problem is when we usually get stuck or run up against things, for the most part, most people stay in here. Now this little brain is a crazy place to be because it is a closed feedback loop and we can ruminate and think about the same things over and over again, but we have the same mental maps and same neural pathways. So in order to create new novel solutions to complex problems, you have to get out of your head. And that's why working with a coach is so powerful, because coaches can sit there and they can reflect back to you and give you external input and feedback from a place of not telling you what to do, which is so important because often when we go to friends or family, they're like, I know the answer, they're trying to help, but it's not helpful because you need to be able to get your own solution to your problem. So if you can't work with a coach, and often there's things that come up and we just need to be able to, move forward, get unstuck in the moment, what you have to do is you have to get out of your head through using some form of question prompts or journaling. I love using this way of working because it allows you to reflect on your words. So using certain questions like, what is my goal here? Where do I want to go? What is my current reality? Are all great questions to ask yourself when trying to determine what really is going on. So in the awareness stage, you're really just shining the light in all of these different parts of your brain and your thinking to get a full picture of what's really going on for you and why you're feeling stuck in the first place. In the download that's going to come with this video, it's called The Guide to Getting Unstuck. I'm going to outline all of these questions as well as the process for you. So feel free to go download that right away or do it after the video, but it'll be really helpful for you to move through this process for yourself. Okay, so now we get into the second part of the model, which is around choice. So you have some awareness to what's going on. Now you need to get into choice. This is huge when it comes to decision making, is feeling 100% in choice around whatever way that you move forward. So here you're looking at what options do I have? Most often, we have multiple options available to us in how we move forward. But our brains tend to think in black and white or if and then. So what you want to do is you want to identify all the choices that are at your disposal. And they might be choices that you don't want to make, but they're still choices. So an example of this was I was working with an entrepreneur the other day, and he was talking about his business. And we were working through this choices exercise, and he was like, I don't know how to move forward. I'm feeling stuck. The business isn't doing as well as it used to. And we started to work through all of his choices to move forward. And I said, well, is leaving your business a choice and going to get a job? And he said, no, that's not a choice. But we worked through it, and it actually is a choice. It's just not a choice that he wants to make right now. But it's important to identify all of the choices that are available to you so you know which one feels intuitively the best for you. So another really important piece to layer in here when we're looking at our choices is values. So I talk about values a lot. If you're not connected to those things that matter to you most, go to the video. It's called How to Find Your Core Values and get connected to them, because values are your most powerful decision-making tool. So once you know what all your choices are, you want to be looking at what choice will allow you to live in your values most fully. You will never go wrong with a choice if you make a choice from a values-driven, values-aligned place. And that is because our values act as our internal compass. So even if you don't know exactly where you're going, but you know your true north based on your values, you can always take the next right step. Let's dive into the last part of the model. So we've covered awareness, choice, now action, and we're going to talk about what action really looks like. So action doesn't mean that you need to have the whole thing laid out. This is the number one mistake that I see most people make, is they feel like they have to know all the way from A to Z in order to take action. That is not true. All you need to know is your next right step. When you know your next right step, what that does is it initiates momentum and movement, and you would be surprised how quickly the next right step shows up, and then the next. So awareness, choice, action, your formula to getting unstuck. And don't forget that I've got a guide for you to help you with this. You can download that using the notes below. So I hope that was helpful, because I know feeling stuck really sucks. And it drains our precious time and our energy and our resources, and it can lead us to feeling like we don't know what we're doing, and it can deplete our confidence. So don't let that be you. You don't have to have the whole thing figured out. You just need to know what your next right step is. So thanks so much for watching. And if you're on Instagram, take a quick screen grab of this video right now and tag me at Kristin Constable and let me know what the top tip from this video was that you're taking away.